Hello friends, have you joined? Aditi, Prachi?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Now we are meeting very early in the morning for our very first lecture of embedded and a real-time operating system. Its screen is visible, Prachi?
Yes, sir.
My voice is audible?
Yes, sir.
Very good. There is no problem that I am expecting. Let's start with the first unit, which is telling about the introductory part of embedded system. Before to start our unit, let's have a quick video about embedded system. Okay, I am going to record all these things, whatever going on. So there should be no noise from your side. I am expecting, because all these things are going to be recorded over here. Let's start with our unit number 1, lecture number 1 of our elective 3 subject of 8th semester of BE Computer. Okay, here is the video that I am going to play, which is telling about what exactly the embedded system is.
Hello friends, this is Shubha and you're watching My Vision Classes. In the next few minutes, you'll know what is an embedded system, few examples of embedded systems that we use in our day-to-day life, what is a general purpose computer, and the differences between general purpose computer and embedded system.
First tell me,
in general, embedded means integrated, and here the integration is of a software and a hardware. So I would define embedded system as a combination of both hardware and a software designed to perform a specific function. Embedded systems are efficient, which means they perform their tasks efficiently, keeping the design on consideration. They perform their tasks with no or a very little human intervention, which means you do not require manpower to perform these tasks. And every embedded system is unique, which means it is designed to perform one unique task. For example, a fan, refrigerator, aeroplanes, medical equipments, automobiles, TVs, and the list goes on. Modern embedded systems are based on microcontrollers, microprocessors, SoCs, and FPGAs. These are designed to carry out the specific tasks which I already mentioned earlier. An embedded system works by taking analog or digital inputs. These inputs are further processed based on how the software is configured, and a desired output is obtained. Some embedded systems have a user interface. such as an optical mouse that takes pictures of the surface as the
That is I
user
am
moves
asking
the
now.
mouse.
Okay,
These pictures
just showing the things. Okay, 1 minute, huh?
are stored
Okay,
in
no
the
problem.
memory
But
and
see,
compared to
it is
determine the
telling about the
location
embedded
which are
system.
outputted to the general
Right?
purpose computer
Let's
so that you can see the
like,
movement on the screen.
it is telling about what exactly the embedded system is.
Now,
Here
this
on
general
your screen
purpose
you can see
computer
a
is not
computer
considered as an
which is
embedded
called as
system
general purpose
because
computer.
it can be used to
The general
perform
purpose
multiple
computer
functions.
and
Moving
embedded
on to the
system are the
differences
same things.
between
It's
general
telling about
purpose
that.
computer and an
Embedded
embedded
system versus
system,
general purpose
I would
computer.
differentiate them based on
No,
certain categories.
They are telling
Well,
the general
based on the
purpose computer
definition,
and
a general
embedded
purpose
systems are
computer
not the same
executes
things.
variety of applications, whereas an
Because
embedded system
is
executes only
dedicated
a
to
specific
particular
set of
specific
applications.
applications.
Based on
And
the
general purpose
content, a
computers
general purpose
can able to
computer
handle
has a general
multiple
purpose
operations
operating
simultaneously.
system,
That's why called
while
as
an embedded
general
system may
operating
or may
system.
not have
So it
an
can handle
operating system.
the different
Based on the
applications at a
iterations,
time.
the
But
applications on a general purpose
embedded system
computer
only
can be
handles
changed
only
by the
one
user,
application at a time.
whereas the applications
General
on an
purpose
embedded
application
system
or
are
operating
fixed
system
and
can
cannot be
change the
changed by the
application
user.
at
The
the
power
time
consumption
of
in
running
case of a
environment.
general purpose
But
computer
here
is always more than that
embedded
of
system
an
cannot
embedded
change it.
system.
It works on whatever
Also,
the
the key
task assigned
factor
to
for a
it.
general purpose
So this
computer
is what
is
the
only the
difference
performance,
while
whereas
we
in case
see
of an embedded system,
then
it's the power, the
the
memory
power
usage,
required,
cost,
memory usage,
speed,
cost,
etc.
speed,
So friends, thank you for
everything.
watching the video, and this was all about
Comparing
introduction
with
to embedded
general purpose
systems. Please do
computer,
share, like,
embedded system
subscribe,
requires
and don't
less
forget
things.
to hit the bell icon. Also,
This is the small difference given in this video. Sorry for that. I have checked it, but because of some connections, you are not able to hear the voice of the video. The video is very good to show the difference between embedded system and general purpose computers. What exactly the difference? Let's see
You are mute for this system. On
what
which you are playing the video.
what
On whichever system you are playing the video, you are mute on that system. So maybe that is the reason why we can't hear you.
Okay, okay, 1 minute. It is not muted.
So your Google Meet is muted.
Okay, that I have to check. No problem. Let's start with this PDF is visible, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, embedded system basics and applications. The first unit is totally we are dedicated it as an introductory part of embedded system. This embedded system and real-time operating system covers system, embedded system, components, classifications, processors, other hardware, softwares, and application. Before to see this introductory part, I want to ask you one question: whether embedded systems are required or not. Though we have general purpose OS system in our hand, why there is a need of embedded system? Before to answer this question, I want to clarify you that embedded means, the word embed means pour. Embed means to put something into a chip, and according to that chip, the chip works. Chip means integrated circuit, that is IC, right? Called as embedded. Means if you want to handle the system, and if we pour or put a C program or Python program into the chip, and the chip works according to that program, that system is called as embedded system, right? Embed means takne, embed means chitkone, embed means insert, right? Inserting the things into the chip, called as embedded. And according to that, if I ask to you whether embedded system is a required one, though we have a general purpose OS system in our hand, what do you think? Are you listening? Okay, no problem. A system is a way of working, organizing or doing one or many tasks according to fixed plan, program or set of rules. A system is also an arranged in which all its units assemble and work together according to the plan or program. What this introduction or definition is telling, a system is a way of working, organizing or doing one or many tasks according to fixed plan. Means in general purpose operating system there is no fixed plan to operate any work or any execution. Here in embedded system, the system works according to the fixed plan. System works according to the fixed plan. So that's why whatever the question that I have arised from my side, why there is a need of embedded system, for this purpose there is a need of embedded system. For what? If we want to execute a fixed plan, a fixed program in a repeated manner, in that case embedded system is required. The system is also arranged in which all its units assemble and work together according to the plan or program. This is simple definition that is a part of our first lecture, that is introduction of embedded system. Here are some examples given over here. System example: watch. There is a time display system, parts, hardware, needles, battery, dial, chassis and strap. This example is telling, if you want to create a system of watch, then we have to focus on its hardware parts, right? We have to focus on its needle, battery, dial, chassis. And the rules are all needles move clockwise only. These are the rules given over here. If you want to create an example of watch, this example is matched with our embedded system. Next example, washing machine. It is an automatic cloth washing system. This is also one example of. This is also one of the example of embedded system. Watch is also one of the example of embedded system. This washing machine is also one of the example of embedded system. It is an automatic clothes washing system. And the parts are status display panel, switches and dials, motor power supply and control units, inner water level sensor and solenoid valve. And the rules are: wash by spinning, rinse, drying, wash over by blinking. These are some rules that we have to follow. In the example of washing machine, embedded system, here the typical definition is explained. An embedded system is one that has computer hardware with software embedded in it as one of its important components. Those want to understand what exactly this is, please give your focus on over here. On left side, on the left side of the screen, a chip is shown, and the right side a code is shown over there. When we insert that code into that hardware is nothing but a chip or a IC integrated circuit, and over that you can easily see Atmel IC. Atmel IC is given over here. When we put that code into hardware, it works according to the whatever code written we have. and that software works according to that. It's a software embeds in a ROM, read-only memory. It does not need secondary memories as in a computer. Means what? Everything is available on a single chip. A ROM is also available on that single chip, and it does not require any secondary memory. We know in our general purpose computer there are different types of memory it uses. Primary memory, secondary memory, right? Which are the primary memories in our general purpose computer systems? RAM is primary memory. Secondary, our hard disk is secondary memory, right? RAM, ROM is primary memory. Here also in embedded system it works only on primary memory, that is ROM, right? And that ROM is filled with the code, and according to that it works. I am going to repeat it. The definition given in our PDF: an embedded system is one that has computer hardware with software embedded in it as one of its important component. The definition is telling about embedded system means it is a mixture or it is a combination of hardware and software part, and software means the code which required to execute the program through hardware. What you can see over here as the definition tells about embedded system is the combination of hardware and software. Here the computer hardware is required to create an embedded system. If you are easily see over here the picture includes a microprocessor. It includes microprocessor. Again, the term comes in your second year engineering. You have might gone through this microprocessor and microcontroller. These are the two different things, microcontroller and microprocessor. In simple words, if you want to define that, microprocessor processes the things. Microprocessor is the chip which processes the things, and microcontroller is the chip which controls the activity. Right? This is the simple and very basic difference between the microprocessor and the microcontroller. I am going to repeat it again. Microprocessor processes the things. Right? Microprocessor processes the activity and microcontroller controls the activity. These are the hardware parts of our embedded system. The second part, which you can easily see over here, a large memory, that is primary and secondary, RAM, ROM and caches. These are the memory systems which we embedded or which we use in our embedded system. RAM, ROM is the primary memory. Hard drive is the secondary memory. Most of the time to execute the programs on the embedded system we require only the primary memories. So RAM and ROM is the important hardware part of the embedded systems. Caches are also the memory part of the embedded system. But there is a difference between the RAM, ROM and the caches. Right? Caches are the memory which are used to fetch the information which we repeatedly uses in our computer system, in our embedded system. Right? Caches are the not permanent. So that's why we never depend on the caches which are stored as a part of hard disk system or a embedded system. Then the next part which you can easily see over here, input units. Keyboard, mouse, scanners, etc. are the input units are required as a hardware part to execute the embedded system for the required output. The output units, monitor, printers, right? The network units over here you can see. To execute the embedded system, it's very much important. We require Ethernet cards and the different drivers of the softwares. Why it is required? Why we use the embedded system? We use the embedded system because we have to transmit the data from one place to another place to control the system from a longer distance. So that purpose, if you want to control the system from longer distance, it is very much important that system should be connected with the internet, and obviously that's why as a hardware part over here given the Ethernet cards. Input and I/O systems, which I/O units, input and output units, which input and output units are required to execute any general purpose embedded system, that is modem, Paxcom modem. Over here you can see these are the different hardware parts required for the embedded system. I am going to repeat it again, this slide. Microprocessor and the microcontrollers, these are the hardware. A memory system required, primary and the secondary. Input units, keyboard, mouse and the scanners. Output units, monitor and printers. Network units, Ethernet cards and drivers. Input and output units, modem, Paxcom modem. These are the different hardware required to execute any kind of embedded system. Means, suppose what definition that we have seen, embedded system. Embedded system is the combination of hardware and the software part, and software is nothing but the specific code that we have inserted into the chip to execute the program. So to create any kind of a embedded system, these are the things, these are the hardware parts required that we have discussed over here. What is going on? Is there any noise that you are hearing? I am hearing something distorted noise. Something distorted noise I am hearing. Samruddhi Deshmukh, what is going on? All these things are on record and the recording is going on. So be careful, don't make any kind of noise. What we have seen up till now, we have seen a muted video which is telling about a general purpose OS and embedded systems. After that we have seen a general definition of embedded system. After that we have seen particular definition of embedded system. Embedded system is the combination of hardware and software parts. After that we have seen one image which is telling that how the embedded system works, the software program which comes into the ROM, and according to RAM the system gives the information to the system and system works. After that we have seen the computer hardware. This computer hardware is required for any embedded system. Next part, components of embedded system. It has hardware, components of embedded system. What is telling? It has hardware, processor, timers, interrupt, controller, input, output devices, memories, ports, etc. We have to see this particular page number 8 of our PDF of unit number 1 of lecture number 1 in somewhat detail. We have seen a general hardware, but over here, if we want to see which different components embedded system covers, processors, right? It requires processors. For example, Arduino Uno is the processor nowadays available. ARM, that is one of the very highly recommended processor. Now everywhere industry uses to create embedded system. Our program of LP4 that we are going to see with the help of two processors. Actually it is one kind of embedded system. That is Arduino Uno. Again there are different 20 to 25 different Arduino boards available. We are talking about here Arduino Uno, and next one is that is Raspberry Pi. On this we are going to perform our LP4 practicals. What is that? That is the hardware. It is a component of embedded system, and it is a processor. Which are the processor that I have said to you earlier now? That is Arduino means Atmel, Atmel at Raspberry Pi. These are the hardware kits which uses Atmel processors. Next, timers is the hardware which we use generally in our embedded system. What is timer? Timer is the hardware part. Timer is the kit which is included in the embedded system to show a time related activity, to control time related activity of our system. Then interrupt controller, very important word, interrupt controller. What is that? Most of the time what happened, if we are observing, or if we are doing some work on our embedded system, knowingly or unknowingly some interrupts occurs. Interrupts means अडचणी, ऐनवेळी उद्भवलेले problem, right, called as interrupt. When such interrupts occurs, what we think, our system should go into sleep mode? No, we don't consider such false things. What we expect, कि our system should shut down? No. Though the interrupts occur, our system should work according to the instructions given by the controller. So to avoid that interrupt, some interrupt controllers are given in embedded system, and that is also important component of embedded system. Which interrupt may occur? For example, which interrupt may occur? Let's consider. Suppose if we are washing our clothes in washing machine. Washing machine is a one kind of embedded system. Means we have seen the definition, na? Embedded system means it is dedicated to particular task, and here we are seeing example of washing machine. Washing machine is also doing a particular task. Which task? Washing a cloth, rinsing cloth, right? These are the particular tasks that we have assigned to our washing machine. But suppose if power failure occurs, what is that? We have set the time to wash the cloth to our washing machine of 10 minutes. Means our timer starts, it is counting the time, and after 10 minutes it will close, or it will shut down the process of washing machine. But if the power failure occurs, what is that? That is knowingly or unknowingly that interrupt comes, hi adchan ali. Then what should do our system, right? Whether it shut downs the system after exactly 10 minutes though the power failure occurs? No, we should not want such case. What we want? Our system should wash the clothes 10 minutes continuously, and after that it shut down the machine. That is what we want. And to handle this condition, interrupt controller plays the role. Simple example that I have shared with you. Then input and IO devices, memories, ports, too many things which are required as a hardware part in embedded system. Next, it has main application software which may perform concurrently the series of tasks or multiple tasks. Means though our processor or controller is working, some sort of application software which is working as a operating system of that particular specific embedded system, and that application software is one of the component of our embedded system. Next, it has real-time operating system. Very important part. Embedded system is one of the part, and a real-time operating system to execute that embedded system is a second part. When we combine these two parts, it becomes embedded and real-time operating system. We want embedded system, but what kind of embedded system we want? We want a real-time operating system, right? Embedded and real-time operating system. RTOS defines the way the system works, which supervise the application software. It sets the rules during the execution of the application program. A small-scale embedded system may not need an RTOS. This is embedded system hardware. If you are able to see over here, a block diagram of a system hardware, you can see, right? This system is showing whatever up till now we have seen, that is input and output. This is input and output devices over here. If you see the movement of cursor, then processor, timers, interrupt controller, output interfacing driver circuit, parallel ports, serial communication ports, program memory and data. If in the examination, if they ask draw the embedded system hardware, what you have to draw? This diagram. Okay, over here the diagram is shown in such fashion. You can use your own idea to draw the diagram of embedded system hardware. But when you will able to draw the embedded system hardware diagram, if you keep in mind the components or the different hardwares required to create embedded system, then and then, which hardwares are required? First processor, then the program memory, timer, then the different serial communication ports, parallel ports, interrupt controller. If you are able to keep in your mind, then you are able to draw the embedded system hardware, right? Again, power supply, then reset and oscillator circuit, system application, specific circuit. These are the different things at the part of embedded system hardware. Here is the diagram. Here is the image you can see over here. Development in electronics. Yes, Intel 4004 is developed in 1971 processor that you can see easily. Why there is a need to show this image to you? Because nowadays, if you want to execute the programs on the embedded system, it does not take too much time to execute the system and gives the answers to the users in very fast way. And that is what the requirement of the today's generation, which is electronic savvy. But the change, how the changes occurs, to show this the concept, I am showing this image to you. In 1971, the Intel launches their processor 4004, and the speed of that processor was 108 kilohertz, and the transistors mounted on that processor, that is 2300 transistors. I don't know whether you are able to understand these things or not. I am going to elaborate it. What is the 108 kHz means? That is the speed of the processor, 108 kilohertz. But what exactly it is? If you are listening it very carefully, then please try to understand what I am saying to you. For example, normally we are not able to understand this 108 kHz means what. It is the speed of processor. Take the one example. Suppose a child who is running from Loni to Babaleshwar, right? The total distance between these two cities are 5 kilometers. How much time he will take, right? That is different matter. But if he cover the distance for our understanding in 1 second, then we will say that child or that person having very good speed. Means, what is that? Traveling the distance from one destination to another destination, and if we cover that destination by using a unit of the time, second, in 1 second, and if we cover that distance 100 times in 1 second, then we can say a very good speed, right? And that is what the speed that that processor having, which was developed in 1971. Means the speed that processor having 108 kilohertz, means it covers the distance 108,000 times a specific distance in 1 second. For our understanding, we are seeing it covers the distance in 1 second 108,000 unit in 1 second. Condition changes. Nowadays, this is not the nowadays processor, but here in our example you can see Pentium 4, which was developed in 2000, and the speed of the processor was 1.5 gigahertz. Means what? एका सेकंदात 1 crore transactions happens. 1 crore transactions happens. In our language we are seeing, and the transistors used in Intel Pentium 4, 42 million transistors. 1 million means what? 10 lakh. 1 million means 10 lakh. If we multiply 10 to the 42, it means what? 42 million transistors. 420 millions. What it means? It means 4 crore, near about 4 crore transistors are mounted on a single chip. This is what the evolution happened in the processors. Embedded system constraints. An embedded system is a software designed to keep in view 3 constraints: available system memory, available processor speed, the need to limit the power dissipation. These are the 3 things that we have to keep in mind while developing embedded system. Which are that 3 constraints? How much memory is available, how much speed of the processor that we are using for our embedded system, and this power consumption, what kind of power consumption it is taking. These 3 things are keep in mind while developing embedded system. What makes embedded system different? This is also one of the part. Before to see that, I am going to repeat it. We have seen a video of general purpose OS and specific purpose embedded system, then a general purpose definition of embedded system, then a specific definition of embedded system, then components of embedded system, then detailed hardware parts required in embedded system, then images which are showing the evolution of processor, then the 3 different constants of embedded system, that is processor speed, then the power and the memory. And now we are going to see which things makes the embedded system different. The very first over here it's shown that real time operation. Absolutely very good. Means if our system is showing real time operations results, then obviously that system makes some different sense comparing with the conventional one. In the size, if we use the general purpose computer, then the size becomes large, and if you use the specific embedded system, the size gets compressed, and it is required. We want a very small size systems to operate the different activity. If the size gets reduced, automatically the cost also there is an impact occurs on the cost. Costs also get reduced. Then the time factor, the time required to execute the things and to show the results and to cover what by taking the feedback from the system. It also required a less or minimum reliability. Reliability is one of the major factors. That's why the embedded system makes the difference from the other systems. Reliability means what? The system, if the system is reliable, then we believe on that system. By using the embedded system, we make the reliable system so it gives the good, accurate and efficient results to the client. Right? Reliability is one of the major and important factors. Safety. This embedded system provides the safety. Right? Then energy and security. These are some points which are very much important regarding why the embedded system is different from the other systems. And very good points we here discuss: reliability, time, cost, safety, energy, security, real-time operation, and the cost of the embedded system. These are very much important and the crucial points. Classification of embedded system: small scale embedded system, medium scale embedded system, sophisticated embedded system. Through the diagram you can easily understand. If you want to use small scale, the chip is used a very small one and very a basic one. If you want to develop a medium scale embedded system, chip is used somewhat different than a sophisticated embedded system, right? The second chip that you can see, Atmel processors, ATMEL. Our Arduino is developed by Atmel processors, Atmel, right? Third, sophisticated, that is Intel i7, right? Intel i5. Small scale, medium scale and sophisticated embedded. I think with this I am going to conclude, because we have too much PPTs are remaining, but through the understand this PPT or through PDF as an introduction of embedded system, I think this is sufficient. What is embedded system? Embedded system is a self-driven program which executes a specific task by considering hardware and software part. Okay. Thank you for your concentration for today's lecture. Thank you.